I grew up in a strict lifestyle with my mother, and I can rattle off immediately one thing I could not stand hearing. Of course, it's a no-brainer to actually have a giant list of things I could not stand dealing with or hearing, but one thing that stands out the most is this one singular phrase, and I had just been reminded of it while watching a video on TikTok. And that phrase is, "That's how the real world works." I do not believe anybody who actually says that knows how the real world works. They just interpret it as this. And there's actually another TikTok video that explains why people say that. And, well, not really why people say that, but I would have to get into it for it to make more sense. But a lot of the stuff that I learn or watch or experience or have better an idea of is from TikTok. It's not really a good source, but you can learn a thing or two. And trust me, if I had the lifestyle that half of these people actually explain, like such as gentle parenting, there's no telling what kind of person I would have become. And I wish I was that person. But for now, we're dealing with why I freaking cannot stand "that's how the real world works." And like I've said before, people who say that, I don't know if they really understand how the real world works. What got me to talking about this, there's this woman who was walking up the stairs of an apartment, and she was walking past this Ring doorbell camera when the person on the inside of the camera had called out to the woman to get her attention, and he was not all too happy about her having flipped over his doormat because of whatever was on it. Now, the guy who was talking has a bit of a flamboyant voice, so I thought what was on the doormat was something of the gay pride community. So I was like, oh, this woman who flipped the doormat is obviously the Karen here. Well, it turns out, as you continue to listen, the doormat actually just had the F word in it, which in other words is the F-U-C-K word. And she was not all too happy about seeing that doormat, and so she flipped it over. Her reasoning being that she has a kid and does not want her kid to see that kind of a vulgar language on someone's doormat. Now, I feel like everybody sucks here in this situation. The lady should have left his stuff alone because you really cannot control what people want to decorate their doors or their area with. And if you do not like it, it's as obvious as trying to avoid it as much as you can possibly can. I also do not know how old the child is, but if the child can read, then the child can understand, and therefore you have to explain to the kid, hey, this word might exist in the world, but you should not be allowed to just say it or use it in whatever way you want. But at the same time, if you live in a community where there's a lot of kids, I think it should be mindful that you would keep like that in mind when you're decorating your area. And it seems like that putting vulgar words just anywhere, I guess, devalues the kind of person you are. But that's just me. Yes, I swear like a sailor all the time because it's funny. But to decorate your areas with F words and like nasty language, it's kind of, in my opinion, low class, and it's just not good of an image to me. But the way the guy on the video was going about it was pretty much saying, that sounds like a you problem, and get the heck off my, property and leave my stuff alone, and you won't have a problem with me, basically. But the woman wasn't acting like a Karen, necessarily. Yeah, she was taunting the camera when the guy told her to screw off, but she was trying to be respectful in a way, in a sense. I watch a lot of Karen videos, so I know how nasty Karens can actually get. But in her case, she was not, acting obnoxious. All she did was just flip the thing over. But I don't know, everybody sucks here. She should have left it alone. Leave it at that. But I am explaining this because I was in the comment section to see what everybody else was thinking about it. The comment section is usually more entertaining than the actual video, and there's a lot of people in there who pretty much said the whole thing, that everybody sucks in the situation. Karen should have left it alone. The guy should have been a little bit more considerate of the people around him. But one person in there in the comment section was like, oh, that kid is gonna see a whole lot worse than just the F word on a doormat. That kid needs to quit being such a snowflake, and people need to quit raising snowflakes. That's not how the real world works. And it just triggered me in a way that just made me wonder, why do people immediately go for that's how the real world works when things suddenly challenge people? Yes, life is not fair. Yes, stuff is gonna show up and make life difficult and irritate people and make people uncomfortable and so on and so forth. But at the same time, life can also be wonderful, beautiful, and entertaining, fun, great, glorious, but I never hear anyone say that's how the real world works when something good happens. Nobody says, "Oh, I just won like $100 off this little lottery thing," and someone's like, "Wow, isn't that something?" Well, I guess that's how the real world works. No, they're like, "Dang it, I freaking ran over something and now I have a flat tire and I won't be able to get a new one because the store I need to get it from is closed." And someone's like, "Well, that sucks. Guess that's how the real world works." I'm like, why? Why? And I had to endure that a lot underneath my mom's house roof, should I say. Oftentimes, when something challenging approaches me, or if I neglect something that's not even nearly as important as she makes it out to be, she would go off on this tangent saying, "You guys aren't ready for what's going to happen. You guys are going to be SOL when you guys are out there doing stuff, and you guys don't understand that's how the real world works. You guys aren't always going to have it easy, this, that, and the other." And like, why can't it be easy? You're only saying that, and I'm saying you're not as in my mom, but you're as in anybody who says this stupid line. You guys only say that because you guys had to deal with a tough life. Which is sad, honestly, because back then, generations before me, yes, life was tougher. You had to work extra hard to get halfway anywhere. Unfortunately, it's like that now when it shouldn't be. We have far more access to a lot more stuff, almost far easier, twice as easy than anyone could have ever dreamed back in, I don't know, early 2000s, mid 1900s. Like, half of it can be accessed on our phone. You don't even need diplomas for half of the careers people have nowadays. People don't even graduate high school before they become bosses and CEOs of stuff. There are chances for people to have happy, easy lives. But the second someone has a challenging moment, nobody wants to just accept, "Oh, this person's going through it, let me see if I can help," or cheer them up, or whatever. They just assume, "Oh, everybody's a snowflake, and they don't know how the real world works, so let me just go ahead and give them a reality check, and tell them, hey, quit crying about it, you're just gonna have to get over it." Do you really know yourself what the real world is? Because a lot of the people who say that are also the same people who can't understand what's going on in the new generation. But that's basically what I'm pretty much going off about. Like, everybody seems to preach about how or what the real world is, but I don't see anyone actually discussing it. Only people who've been through hard times of acting like they are like some kind of tattooed up, like, drunk guy who's just sitting in the middle of a bar with all kinds of knowledge and wise wisdom about how they sell the 7 C's and have seen the worst of it worst, and like, get out of here. No one cares about your little hard times you've had. Just because you had a hard time doesn't mean anyone else is not allowed to have a hard time. We're living in a world where everything should be a lot easier, a lot smoother, and some people are blessed to have that lifestyle. But because, oh no, I didn't have that lifestyle and this person's having an easy time, let me go ahead and rain on their parade just because they're having a hard time. Well, sorry kiddo, you're having a hard time. Well, that's how the real life works. You're not allowed to have an easy, smooth going life, because why would I want that for you? Like, people need to get help. What is wrong with you? And I'm saying that for anyone who says that's how the real world works. Because I've had a significantly easier life at my age than my mom has, and she's happy that I'm having that. But at the same breath, she turns around and says stuff like that. I'm like, don't you want me to have an easy time? Why would you want me to suffer the same way you did just so I have validation to be upset? Everybody has a justified reason to be upset when things start giving them a hard time. That's just how humans work. But sitting there meaning how they're feeling just because, oh, you've had it worse. Like, it's not a competition. You can be upset, and you don't have to be upset for them or understand why they're upset, but you don't have to go out of your way to make their situation worse by telling them get over it, basically. Yes, there are some people who are a little bit more bougie than others, and they complain over, like, first world problems. Oh, I didn't get a blue car, instead I got a red one for free, kind of deal. But I'm talking about people who are going through, like, real issues. Like I said, running over something and popping your tire and you can't get a new one right away. Or you might be a little bit behind on rent, like I am right now. Well, was, should I say. And stuff like that. And just because you're not like on top of things all the time, because being human can be a little bit difficult, especially when things should not be as difficult as they are now. Why wouldn't you want things to be easier for people, especially if they already had it easy as enough? I get that we're as humans we get jealous because unfortunately we can't just be happy for others, but to sit there and finally get your little dance in because, oh yes, this person that was having it easy is now having a hard time, I can finally sleep at night, I think goes to explain or show the kind of person that they are themselves. I think we just need to reevaluate ourselves if the first response to somebody else having a hard time or complaining about having to deal with somebody else's problem is by saying, get over it, that's how the world works. Because I personally don't think you yourself knows how the world works. And I'm not saying people who have an easy life knows how the world works either. Nobody does. If anyone did, we'd have the answer to what the purpose of life is. But we don't. So I'm not sure why everybody who keeps preaching about how the world works acts like they've seen it all. Because just that you're not 1,000 years old, you haven't seen it all. Nobody has the real answer to anything. You just dealt with your own version of hell. Now, shut up and swallow it, or deal with it and figure out how to fix your own trauma instead of portraying it on somebody else. Is that the word I want to use? Projecting it. There we go. Projecting it on somebody else. Yo, what's up everybody? This is Leanne. Thank you guys for watching this video so far. If you enjoyed it, please go check out my previous episodes. I do not remember what it's called, but it's in there somewhere. Hope you guys enjoyed that, but if you enjoy my content altogether, be sure to check out my playlists, and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hopefully the comment section's on, because I've realized it's been off lately, and I'll catch you guys later.